Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn, and today we are continuing the 100 Dragon Challenge. So today we had a pretty cool prompt idea that came from YouTube, and if you guys want to suggest prompts or send them in for me to pick for future dragons, make sure to either follow the tweet link down in the description below, or you can leave a comment, or you can join our Discord. And make sure, if you join the Discord, introduce yourself, say hi to the community, and then feel free to leave your ideas. So either way, today we have a wonderful suggestion from Dragon Queen, which is very fitting for this one. Have you ever tried to make a dragon king or queen? I have not, so let's do it. So today we are going to be making at least one of the halves of that, a king dragon. All right, so first of all, when I was thinking of this guy, I tried to think of how to make him look very regal and as if he had a crown without literally putting a crown on him. It was kind of a little bit of brainstorming to figure out, like, should I make like a lot of different like horns? How can I like fit the horns to make him look very kingly and regal? And I wanted him to look kind of not like old, but like an experienced dragon. Like, he's been around the block a few times, battled a couple of different dragons and humans and such, and just gave him a very big, demanding presence. But I also didn't want to fall into just, I don't know, the typical king dragon. Like, usually they're just a lot beefier, buffier, maybe have some gold here and there. I wanted to try something different, like really push the idea of like a warrior king. I just was really inspired by the idea of like knights and like King Arthur being kind of more of like a warrior king, like would fight with the Knights of the Round Table. And that's kind of where I got my inspiration from. So first of all, I made his horns kind of go around his face and become kind of like a crown, just based off of them coming off of the main horns and then being up on his head. It wasn't like the typical circular crown, but I wanted to give some type of interesting crowning look to his head, and I think this one turned out really great. I really love the use of the horns for doing something different. And then I added a couple more horns that replicate the same look onto his neck, and it just kind of it just feels very regal to me, just having all of these extra adornments. Just like any other king or queen in like medieval times, they'd have like a bunch of rings and gold and multiple different headpieces and like really elaborate clothes. So how I see it in the dragon world of having like becoming more like an elaborate dragon is multiple cool horns, like really cool like horns and adornments. And then I also thought of doing more of a sturdy scaling or like armor in a way, like a skin armor. And I wanted to also play off of the gold theme for this guy. So I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I need to figure out a way to give him armor that's like this really gold, intensely bright armor, and all the color palette works together well. So when I was planning out this guy, I wanted to have a lot of different textures and shapes and other things on him, and I did really like the pose that I did in my initial sketching, that kind of front-facing pose I haven't really done before in one of our dragons. So that's kind of what I wanted to run with this one. And I'm thinking when I do the queen dragon, I'm thinking it will be the opposite direction, also a front-facing pose. I think they would be really cool if they were right next to each other in like a very similar pose. And then I'm also thinking in the long run, like the queen dragon would be really fun if it had like opposite coloring. So this one I was thinking, I'm gonna get into the copics here in a bit, but like golds and reds and browns, like very earthly, like strong colors for the king. And I was thinking the queen, it'd be really fun to have like silvers and maybe some purples and greens and blues for a more like cool feminine charm to it. So that's kind of what I'm thinking in the long run for this double part series for this dragon. So like I said, I kind of went ham with the details on this guy. I really wanted a lot of cool plating and scaling and just really giving this guy a lot of fun adornments just to kind of give him that regal feel. And then it was just fun to think about like what other textures to put on these dragons, because some of them I do add scaling and like obviously I do the oh man, wow, why can't I think of it? Like stomach plating and different extra horns and things. Like that's pretty consistent through most of my dragons, but I haven't really done a really armored up one or one with multiple different textures, so it was a nice exercise to do it with this. And then for the next phase of line art, I wanted to make sure that the front foreground body stood out from the background. When I was drawing it, I just felt like it all felt a little flat. So I wanted to add at least a little bit of dimension by making some of the line art a little bit thicker than the rest. So now with that out of the way, it's time to jump into some colors. So like I said before, I was going for like the yellows, the reds, the browns. I thought those would work really well for this one. And I just was really excited to give it such a bright, earthy feel to it. And I don't know, picking colors is one of my favorite things to do. Like finding a color palette for something is really enjoyable. So after I kind of decided on the gold for like the armoring area, I was like, all right, I can run with this. I know exactly what I want to do. And I also picked some reds because I wanted to also adorn his horns, because, you know, usually when kings or queens have their crowns, they have some type of gems or jewels inset in it. So I thought that'd be really cool to incorporate that into some of the horns and other parts that have the gold, just have like little red gemsy jewels all around it. I thought would look really cool. And then another little key feature of his design was I was thinking the old kings that had like the really big bushy beards and mustaches, I was kind of thinking of that idea when I gave him this mane type of thing. It was like a combination of thinking of kings with beards, and then I thought about like lions, since we call them the king of the jungle, or the king of the savannah since they don't really live in jungles. I don't know how they got that name. Anyway, so I was thinking for like a lion, just having that similar feel, like the golds with a really big bushy mane would also lend well to this design. So as you can see, I carried the gold armor around the entire figure and put it in different areas, and I made sure to have those little yellow ruby gems encrusting the different parts of the gold armor. I thought about putting that on the wing part of the gold armor as well, but I think I decided against it. Now I'm like second guessing myself. I don't have the finished piece in front of me while I'm doing this voiceover. But I thought, I don't know, I just really liked it on the arms and the horns. I didn't really feel strongly about putting them on the wings, but now that I look at it, I'm like, maybe I should have, but oh well, I love it. And I wanted to also bring in something like a color that's going to be from the queen. So I decided to do his wings in this lavendery purple. So that color will for sure be on our queen dragon when I get around to doing it. And then I want to bring a color from him over to her. And I'm thinking that maroon red that's on his chest, or well, actually, yeah, maybe that one, because gold and silver sometimes don't look great together. So I think I'll run with that maroon color because that will look good with all of her purples and blues. All right, so we're getting really close to finishing this guy up. So just, again, I cannot wait to see your guys' entries for the King Dragon. So if you would like to participate and send in your interpretation of the prompt, make sure to go to Twitter or Instagram and post your entry with the hashtag KM100Dragons. I'll be picking from those two platforms, and I cannot wait to see what your guys' interpretation of our wonderful regal boy is. I cannot wait. All right, guys, let's go over last week's submissions for a Lust Dragon. So I know this one was kind of hard to figure out because, like I said, I kind of put a cap on like PG-13, you know, keep it clean. And also it was very fun to see you guys commenting on how awkward my voiceover was because it was a very difficult video to voice over. But let's jump into the entries. So great job, guys. I know this was a tough one, but Mighty Camerai, I really like how regal you made your Lust Dragon. It's just kind of an interesting play on her being very like queenly and like wanting to look good to be lusted after, maybe. I don't know, but I just really liked it and I thought it was a cute design. And then Dragon Eye, I really like the design of this dragon. I love the idea of the big fluffy bit around the neck. And then the colors I really liked with the purples and the blues. And then the horns were really cool too. And I loved the little touch of the tongue and the drool. It kind of made it all feel like a very nice Lust Dragon. And you guys did great. Really awesome job for everyone who did a Lust Dragon. And if you guys would like to enter your version of a King Dragon, please go ahead and do it. Do the hashtag KM100Dragons on Instagram or Twitter. I won't be featuring them in next week's video because I'm going to be traveling. And then the week after, I will also be traveling because I'm going to RTX and VidCon. But the dragon after that, I'm planning on showing the best entries from the King Dragon and then the prompts in the next 2 weeks. So please, if you guys would like to make your version of the King Dragon, but you're afraid it's not going to get featured, it will be. So make sure to submit on Twitter or Instagram with the hashtag. So thanks again, guys, so much for stopping by and checking out this video. And if you aren't already, you can go and hit that subscribe button. I have new videos every week. And thanks again, guys, for watching. I love being back into doing YouTube videos consistently. I mean, Wednesdays are still a little shaky, but at least the dragons are here. So thanks again, guys, for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.